I hope you're ready for just a little bit of a bitch session because that's what we got going on today. I've been trying for about a week to kind of get used to filming on the iPhone. I really think that this could be the way to go, but I really haven't got it figured out yet. I got this Lexar SSD and hooked this hub, and I got my microphone on here and my little iPhone holder right here. It all works good. It's been a pain though, and it's been a learning curve. First of all, this is kind of cumbersome to put on and get all constructed. That takes a minute. And then every time I put this iPhone holder on there, I'm on a button, and then the button activates the SOS mode or whatever. Try to call for the police. So I had to figure that out, scoot it over, so on and so forth. So what? Okay, it takes a minute to try to figure all this stuff out. And that's what I'm in the process of doing. It's starting to frustrate me enough to where I might be done with this. Because what happens is when you film on your SSD and you hook it up to your Apple computer and you open Final Cut Pro and try to import everything, it saves it all to a DCMI file or something like that. And when you try to import it, it just messes everything up. It just wigs out my computer. The files are hard to find. Everything just goes crazy. The workaround on that is I had to take my files from the DCMI, copy them into another folder on the hard drive, delete the DCMI file, and then I can download the files how I normally do in Final Cut Pro. And that's crazy, right? Now, after that, you get everything imported, start your project, library, all that stuff. You drop your file down into the timeline, and it automatically puts the Apple LUT on there. So in order to change that back to your log footage, you have to go into the inspector and click none on every file that you drag into. Now, I'm sure there's workarounds and faster ways to do all this. It's just what I've learned over the past week. So for every file, you have to go in and click from Apple Log into none, and then you'll get the actual log footage, and then you can start working on the color grading itself. That seems like a lot of squeeze for not very much juice. And we'll get back to the color grading in a minute, in just a second, in Final Cut Pro. So anyway, I go into the work early this morning, extra early, like 45 minutes early. And that means I had to wake up 45 minutes early, go in to film a video at my office, sit down, and I get the exposure just where I want it. What I normally do is get the background exposure where I want it, and then flip on the light for my face, and then that's good enough. Well, when I did that this morning, it raised the exposure to everything. So that whole video, it just looks like complete trash. I wasted pretty much the whole morning filming a video that I can't use. But the reason that it frustrates me so much is because you can't monitor what you're filming on the iPhone because it's turned around backwards. It's like using a camera with the old flip up screen. You can't see what you're doing. Now, I think you can film on the front facing camera in log, but it's the footage is not going to be as good. That camera is not as good, of course. So there you go. You can't see yourself. So if something's going on with exposure or anything else, you have no idea. That's another downside to the whole thing. Now let's get back to the color grading in Final Cut Pro. Now I'm going to put the iPhone up and film the rest on the iPhone. Scratch that, because when I went to put this on my suction cup mount, this thing's all backwards, so it wasn't going to work. Basically what I'm trying to say is I don't know in what world the iPhone is going to be better than the Osmo Pocket 3. I just don't know in what world that exists, but that's just me. Okay, now let's get to the color grading aspect of this video of the bitch session. Okay, I was working on my Final Cut Pro, working on a project, got my color, had the iPhone footage and DJI Pocket 3 footage all in one project, okay? I got my iPhone footage exactly where I want it, just how I want it to look, grading it, the log footage. Got it looking good, and I want to save that to use for all my projects. And I did the same with the DJI. The DJI to me looked way better than the iPhone, but I really wanted that DJI preset because it looks exactly like I want it to look. I'm in Final Cut Pro where you can save the preset, but it'll save it to effects. It doesn't make a LUT. It doesn't save it to the LUT folder. It doesn't make a cube file. It saves it to effects. Okay, no big deal. I can, as long as I'm on that computer, I can use that effect on that footage whenever I want. So that's fine. Well, the thing is I have another computer at my office that I want to transfer that effect onto the second computer. Shouldn't be a problem, right? No, you can't do that. You can't do that. I tried it this morning. Save the effect, put it on a drive, try to import it into my second computer, and it won't pull up on my second computer. There's no way to get that specific effect onto the second computer and onto the footage of the iPhone or the Pocket 3. Now there is a way, I think, to do all that, and I kind of was watching a video on it, but it's the most convoluted thing that I've ever seen in my life. You have to download a program and donate money and make all these different files, all this stuff. Bro, I don't have time for all that. I don't have time for all that. I don't understand why I just can't put one thing on one computer and drop it right into the same place on the second computer, Final Cut Pro. It's all Apple. No, you can't do it. You can't do it. The only way to make a LUT is to put that, the way to really make a LUT, the only way that I'm going to be able to make a LUT is you have to take the log footage, open it up in Photoshop, make all your adjustments however you want, and then you can export it as a cube file, and then you can import that into Final Cut Pro on both computers. So there you go. I don't know why it can't be simpler than that. I don't know why it can't be more simple. Like, why can't I just put, I did the work on this computer, I just want to save this to that computer. No, you can't do that. So now, currently, as it stands, I have LUTs, different LUTs on each computer, different presets on each computer, different effects and motion array stuff all over everywhere on both computers. It's so frustrating. I don't know why they can't just make it cloud-based. So when you do something on one computer, it updates it across all your devices, like Lightroom does. But here we are. So that's frustrating. That's frustrating the bejesus out of me to try to sync settings amongst all my computers. It's frustrating. And here is the last frustrating thing for today that's really just started to bother me and become an issue the last couple of days. All right. I switched over everything to F38 about a year or so ago, whenever, it was a big deal. Okay, the old F38 plates, let's call them plates and receivers, and I have probably about 5 of those strung throughout my ecosystem. The problem with the old F38 plates is they slip. When you put them on the camera, any little bit of movement or whatever, and they slip and they come loose, and they're pretty much just worthless. You have to keep tightening them down like all the time. All the time I have to tighten them down. Well, that sucks, Well, Ulanzi or Falcam, whoever, decides, you know what, we're going to come out with a new plate, anti-slip plate, and a new receiver. Great. Order a couple of those, and then all the devices that I've ordered since then have had the new anti-slip plate. I ordered like one of those neck strap holders, and it had the anti-slip. And I think I ordered the backpack strap plate, and it had an anti-slip. So I have a whole bunch of anti-slip plates, a whole bunch of old plates that slip. I have new receivers, old receivers, all these different things going on. Well, the new anti-slip plates won't fit on the old receivers. So I have all these plates and all these receivers, and they won't all match up with each other. Now the old plates will fit in the new receivers, but the old plates won't fit on the new receivers. The new plates will fit in the backpack strap holder. It'll fit in the neck strap holder. Pretty much everything else except for the old receivers. So it's really like every time I go to use my system, I have to be really careful, or I'll get out somewhere and then this plate won't fit into that, or it won't fit. Nothing fits. Nothing works. Oh my gosh. Why do they have to make everything so frustrating? And then you go on to the website and they don't say this is the new or this is the old or version 1 or version 2. You have no idea what you're ordering. So I don't know what to do, to be honest with you. I don't know what to do. But I gotta get all this stuff working because, I get out there to start filming something. I have an old receiver and a new clip, and I can't put my camera on my tripod. Now that's a problem, that's a problem. So anyway, that's what I got going on today, about frustration level 10. Did a whole video this morning. Can't even post it because the dang Apple app, I can't monitor what you're doing. So who knows if it's correctly exposed or not. Sometimes, man, this is just frustrating. It just frustrates you to death. So anyway, we'll see on the next one. I'll tell you another thing that's driving me absolutely crazy. Today is Tuesday. Sunday was below freezing. Monday below freezing. Tuesday below freezing. Wednesday is supposed to be below freezing. And then Thursday and Friday we're supposed to get a huge snowstorm. It's Oklahoma. This is not supposed to happen. Drive me crazy.